Hey, my name is Yolanda, and welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. Tune in each week as I speak frankly about life experiences from my perspective and offer you a bit of unsolicited advice. Let's take a little time to laugh, to think, and to cry as we tackle some serious topics and some not so serious topics. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Hey, welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. My name is Yolanda. Thank you for tuning into my show for another week and joining me for another episode. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are having a pretty good day. Hope your week is going well. I hope you're excited about the weekend for whatever reason, even if it's just to rest. I think that's what I look for and anticipate the most is rest. So I wish rest, peace, and whatever the hell it is you want to do for this weekend. Now, I have an update for you all. It's a life update. I went to the doctor. Now, my hand is tingling as I speak to you all now. You know that my foot went numb, or we call it my foot went to sleep. It's that feeling in my three fingers, the thumb, the pointy finger, and the middle finger. So those are the fingers that it has been like tingling, and that little part by my elbow, in front of the elbow, the back of the elbow, the side of the elbow, like all around the elbow, that's where the pain is. So anyway, I think I have over 230 something episodes, right? So I know if you are a loyal listener, you've heard me say some of these stories and some of these things several times. Some of you are just tuned in. So I have 2 tears in my rotator cuff. I've said that before. It always shocks every doctor because they look at me and they're like, oh, you're too young for this, or what could you possibly have been doing to tear your rotator cuff? And I had to tell him that I used to train for MMA like I was going to be the best MMA fighter. I was never going to be, because I never planned on being an MMA fighter, but I used to work out a lot, and I just got bored with the traditional 3 sets of this. How many reps of this? It was just boring. And there was a guy in the gym that was an MMA trainer. And so I decided to take the class, and we were training, and we were going to do amateur MMA. Well, the boys in the class. At one point I was the only girl, and then another girl joined us for a little while. She kind of fell off, and I was kind of consistent from the time the class started until it ended. But anyway, we did a lot of circuit training. We did a lot of lifting. It was just a lot of things going on that I probably wouldn't typically do. And it was around that time that I realized I'd injured myself. I can't even remember what I was doing or how but I knew it was during that time that I was training to be the best fighter I was never going to be. Anyway, the doctor said he could tell that something was up with the shoulder. He's glad that I mentioned that there was 2 tears, because typically you need an MRI to see that. And I got an MRI back in the day when the pain first started in my shoulder and the stiffness. And that's how I knew. But when the pain started happening down my arm, I don't know if it was related to my 2 tears in my rotator cuff or not. But the pain, it had the resemblance of carpal tunnel, because I've had carpal tunnel in my wrist before, but not all the way up the arm. But then again, I did some extreme shit, so maybe. Long and short, he feels the same way I do. Like, hey, I think it's carpal tunnel. You had a little bit of tennis elbow as well with that. Maybe that's kind of calming down. Yeah, I don't know if you have severe carpal tunnel, but it's definitely moderate. And he's going to take me to get some nerve tests. I think I definitely need that, because I can tell it's nerve pain. It's not your typical bones hurting or like muscle. It's a different kind of pain. And it just kind of jumps out of nowhere, and I can like rub it, and then sometimes it'll calm it down. But I think that's why my fingers are tingling. But it is definitely sickening, and you never know when it's going to just come out of nowhere. It happens when I'm driving, which is the worst. And I'm right-handed, and all of this is going on in my right arm and hand, and it's annoying. So I'm going to get an appointment, and somebody's going to call me so I can get my nerve test so they can see how severe it is, or if it's just moderate, and whether or not I need any type of surgery. So I'm praying that there's no surgery, but I can tell you what, that job ain't got to worry about me trying to meet no deadlines no more, okay? I'm going to take my time, and if I can't get it done in enough time, then y'all didn't give me enough time to do it. I will do my very best, but if that best is not good enough, I will never stay up all night again trying to get something done. I'm not doing that. It's not worth it. I'm too young for this shit here. So anyway, I have to go to another appointment, and then after they do their test, I'll go back to him and we can analyze whatever data they collect when I do this test. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to wear my carpal tunnel brace since I assume that's what it is, so I can limit the mobility and whatever the fuck it is that's causing this nerve to jump. So I'm going to continue to wear my brace until that happens. And anyway, that's the update on that. I still don't have any street talk. And let me tell you why. I have a high school senior, right? That's my son. And then my granddaughter, she is, this is her first year in middle school. So every day I'm just concerned about how their day went. Now, my son, when I say how his day went, I'm really talking to him to just see if there's been any change in his character, whether he's maturing in front of my eyes. I just cannot believe that he's going to be off to college or whatever the hell he decides to do, which I'm sure is college. That's what we've been talking about. I'm excited. It may not seem that way because he says, well, you don't seem excited, Mom. And I work in a high school. I work at the same high school he attends. And with that being said, I've seen many of students come in ninth grade, graduate. I mean, several sets of graduates I've seen walk across the stage. Obviously, this is my son, so it's special. But I don't have the same maybe first time parents who graduated kids type of feeling. Number one, I've already graduated a child and saw her off to college. So this is a little different. Not to say you don't get excited for your kids. It's just not that same like tears. Oh my God. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe my son is growing. It's that subtle, like you're staring at them in disbelief. And then suddenly one drop of a tear comes falling down your face. It's that type of excitement. Or happiness, I should say. It's a happy excitement. It's a joyful feeling to see him all grown up. So who knows? Once he takes his graduation pictures, maybe I'll get a feeling. Maybe it'll take me until he walks across the stage. I don't know. But I am excited for him. I'm excited for his future. I am excited for my future and seeing myself in a different space. And not having to be mommy manager of his life anymore, like, okay, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And seeing what my husband and I have instilled in him and kind of watching that before our eyes, because I think that that's the role of parents, right? We instill these values and these things in our children and character, and we raise them and we teach them all these lessons. We put them in positions to learn things. And then that time comes where they got to put that stuff to practice. So he's going to be on his own in a sense, in that he's waking up and he's moving about his day without the guidance of us. And that's what you're really preparing your kids for. And if you're not, then you're doing it wrong. Because if you're doing everything for them and you're not allowing them to make decisions on their own in your house, when you feel comfortable that if there is a mistake or an error that you can easily correct it, then you're really messing up, because they're going to get out of your space at some point. And they're going to have to make these decisions on their own. Yeah, you're a phone call away, but sometimes that phone call isn't going to happen as instantly as it needs to, or that it can, whenever they're put in a situation that they got to make a split-second decision. Did you give them or instill in them enough that they will make the right decisions? And that's all I hope for. I give him a whole ton of lessons and I hope that it sticks. Now, he makes decisions today. It's just that I'm aware of those decisions. And I just know that when he gets off to school, just like when we were in school, in college, that is, we didn't ask our parents about every single decision. Okay, well, I'm going to this party tonight and I know that test is tomorrow. I'm not going to study. I'll just wake up early, cram a little bit and go. Or I ain't going to class today because everybody going to the beach and I want to go to the beach. And so we made all of those dumb decisions, and those decisions had consequences. And all I do is tell my son, or we tell our son, about the consequences and the decisions that we've made. And so my husband and I are having a debate right now. And that debate is, our son turned 17 and he wants to get a tattoo for his 17th birthday. I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really care. I mean, I care about maybe where he gets it and what he gets versus getting one at all. Because I have tattoos and my husband has a tattoo. And then he says, okay, well, since you all won't let me get a tattoo. Now, somebody correct me. If y'all in South Carolina, I was told that you can no longer get a tattoo in South Carolina unless you're 18. Before, you could get one if you had parental consent. Now they're saying regardless of parental consent, you have to be 18 to get a tattoo. I don't know how true that is. Somebody tell me, because we're not going to anybody's house to get a tattoo. We're going to go somewhere so that something happens, I can sue, right? That's my litmus test for everything. Can I sue if something happens? Like I get some kind of viral disease or something, or infection. So anyway, he says, all right, well, if I can't get a tattoo, then for my 17th birthday, can I get some bottom grills? So I was like, oh, that's cute, because, I'm a hood chick at heart. I can't sit there and lie. And I think that's super cute. And then my husband's like, absolutely not. That shit is so fucking ghetto. Why would he want to get that? And I'm like, it's not like it used to be. Like back in our Trick Daddy era when everybody was just gold grill top bottoms. So first of all, those were permanent. And you may have thought like, okay, that's just some dirty style, dirty, ghetto, grimy shit. But now you got like PhD people, MD people taking their pictures with their bottom grills showing. And to me, it's a cultural thing, and it's not a permanent. He can just take the grill in and out. He's not going to wear it to school. Well, maybe. I know my son, maybe, depending on if the outfit calls and something popping off. But mainly this will be his like, okay, I'm going somewhere. Like I'm about to be out in the street. I'm going to this event. I'm going to this party. And the grills is just going to set this fit off. I know my son. That's what he's going to do. I also know from my friends who've gotten bottom grills, and all of them have lost their bottom grills. It ain't really a good investment because you're probably going to lose them. What happens is you go out in the street, you decide you want to eat something. You can't eat with the grills in. So you take the grills out and you put them in a napkin next to where you're eating. You chilling, you shooting the shit with your friends. And then you forget that you had the grills in your napkin next to you. You throw the napkin in the trash with everything else and the food that you've been doing. And then you realize maybe in the car at some point or when you got home, like, oh shit, where are my grills? And the grills are gone permanently. And so I feel like that will probably be the case. However, that's all he wants. So my son's not really a party guy. I had a party for his 16th because we did it with his cousins. I felt like that was the best thing to do for his 16th. But we're not a have a party every year type of people where, okay, the milestone birthdays, we should have a big shindig. But I always do something on his birthday, even if he doesn't want to party. I always take him out to eat. We always do an activity with his cousins. So those things will happen. It happens every year. We might go paintballing. We may go to Dave and Buster's, like on his actual birthday. We take his cousins and they all just kind of hang out for that day doing something. That'll happen, whatever that is. But the gift... yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think that bottom grills are ghetto? Do you think that children should get tattoos? I work again at a high school. And what I can tell you is that there are several tattoos that these kids have. And when I say, I mean, they got neck tattoos, they got face tattoos, they got everything. Now, I wouldn't let my son get a neck or a face tattoo. That's a non-negotiable. And I don't think he would ever get it, even if he did it on his own. And I tell the kids all the time who I see have it, you don't know what your future holds. I'm not saying that the tattoos will keep you from that, but people do judge you. They will look at you and make an informed decision about who they think you are and what you represent instantly. And this idea that you can't judge a book by its cover, the reality of that is people do. And so all of these little colloquialisms and quotes that we like to say and quote throughout our lives to just tell people like, you're wrong about me. It's too late. They've already made a preconceived judgment notion about who they think you are, and they've already moved accordingly based on that. I'm going to say this and I'm going to sound like the worst person in the world, but there are a lot of people that I see doing like coaching, and I'll help you get your life together. Let me teach you about self-care, teach you how to get your life in order. And guess what? These people might have excellent tips. It may be the best thing in the world, but if I can't look at you and I don't see some part of you or your life that I want to be, to emulate, to mirror, to mimic, then it's not happening, sis or bruh. It's just not. You can't tell me that I'm going to help men get girls. I'm a man. I'm going to help these men get a woman, get a wife, teach you how to pull a woman, and you ain't pull a woman material. If you're not pull a woman material, why would a man listen to you? If he's looking at you and he can see, I look better than you do, I don't really know how you going to pull a woman. Or you ain't got the bankroll because he's teaching you how to get your finances together or how to dress, and he doesn't dress well. It really ain't going to go over well. You get what I'm saying? And so if you don't think that how you look matters, you got another thing coming. And I'm not saying that you got to have on designer, because you know what I notice about people with designer, because I think that's what people think. If I want to tell people how to improve their life, that I have to be in Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whatever. And so now if you see me with that Louis and Gucci and whatever, then you feel like, okay, well, she got money, so she'll be able to tell me how to get money and live this glamorous life. But I like stylish people, not necessarily fashionable people. I feel like fashionable people are people who are following trends. And okay, I know people wear Gucci belts, so I'm gonna get me a Gucci belt. I know that people got these LV belts, so I'm gonna get one. And now people are gonna be like, ooh, she got this Louis Vuitton purse, she must have money. And I don't think that way. I think that you want to look like you got money, and so you buy these pieces. But a guy that works at the airport kept saying that only people that comes through the airport with Louis Vuitton luggage or just name brand luggage in general always get called to go to coach. You know how when you at the airport and they're calling everybody to board, you're boarding last. You're boarding your coach. And you at the back of the back of the back. So what's really tea? Do you want to look like you got money, or do you want to have money? And I'm more of a let me have the money. And I like to see people that are very stylish, who are very well groomed, who take care of themselves. And that doesn't come with a price tag to me. That doesn't come with a label to me. Because I've seen people with not a stitch of nothing remarkable luxury on them, but they're very well put together, and it can be something that you want to obtain. So all I'm saying is that you want to get a tattoo, you want to get all of these piercings. People are going to make a decision about who you are, and you don't know how many doors did not open for you because of that. You're thinking about the ones that did, like, okay, they gave me a shot. Most of the time, those are people who also have something that they've been judged for, so they try not to judge others. But everybody hadn't lived the life that we all have lived, meaning they lived a life of, okay, I done been through some things, and people be judging me based on the things that I've been through or what I look like. So I don't do that to other people because I know what it feels like. Everybody doesn't have a sob story. Some people have grown up with no care or worries in the world, and they have moved through life in that manner. So they don't try to bring any of that energy onto them. They move based on, I always tell y'all this now, people are how they were raised, good, bad, or indifferent. So if I was raised and I haven't had any type of trauma or anything like that, I'm just looking at you and I'm like, oh no, absolutely not. This person is not going to rent no house for me. This person is not going to work for me. I'm not going to date this person because of how you look. So all I'm saying is, this is the message I give to the students all the time. You just don't know where you, like, they are moving in life like they about to be NBA YoungBoy. Like, that's how they move. Like, I'm gonna get all of these tattoos. I'm gonna flash all this money in these videos and guns because I'm about to live this rock star lifestyle. And they don't consider the fact that maybe I'm gonna have a job one day that this isn't gonna be a good image for me and the type of job that I'm gonna have later on in the future. And that's not say you don't have, like, they feel like they don't have time to do any of these things. You got plenty of time to be a young thug. You got plenty of time to be a young hoe. You ain't got to do that in high school. You get what I'm saying? So all of this, I got to wear a crop top. I got to have my ass out. I got to have tattoos. I need to have all these gold chains. The amount of fake gold chains and reps is what the kids are calling it now, which is the fake stuff, you know, like the fake clothes and the fake shoes from the brands. They call them reps. Now, I ain't gonna lie, that market has gotten really, really strong. Like back in my day, you used to have to go get your knockoffs from the flea market, and they would always get their things taken by the police whenever they would roll up on them. But now they got websites and you can just order your stuff and they look like really good dupes. But I'm just not there. I don't feel the need to get the luxury thing, first of all. So the idea of me wanting to get a fake one to look like I got a real one so that I can impress people that really don't give a fuck about me. You know what I think is impressive? Not clothes, not nothing that you got on, but like, let's take the example of the airport, for example. I'm in my regular smegular Walmart, just warm up set, and I'm in first class, and you're on Louis down, you are whatever down, you Balenciaga, you drip to the nines, and you got to walk past me to go to coach with your expensive luggage, right? My passport's stamped up. I'm all over the place. I ain't got a stitch of luxury in sight, but I'm traveling. I'm doing everything I want to do. there's this major event and the tickets cost this amount of money, and you there with all of your reps or your real, I don't know, but I'm front row seat because I had the money to get the front row seats, or I'm VIP, I'm backstage, I'm rubbing elbows with the people. Like, that's where I want to spend my money on. I don't care how I look, because if you notice now, let's pay close attention. I'm not saying your celebrities don't pop out and they don't have labels and they don't have name brand stuff on. They typically do. But a lot of times those labels are giving them those clothes. They're walking advertisement for those people. Also, they don't wear logos. It's rare that you see them with, you gotta see the LV. You gotta see the 2 Gs. You gotta see the word Balenciaga. You gotta see chrome hearts on. And I had to tell my son that when we went to Vegas, we were in the mall at the Caesars Palace, and of course all of those stores are there, and those stores have security on the outside. And so I took him in those stores because he always he understands now, he's matured, about how much money these kids, he got chrome hearts, and I always used to tell him, them people ain't got no real chrome hearts. Now I need you to know that, because those things are very expensive, and most people can't afford to have 5, 6, 7 shirts of this particular brand. So when we go in chrome hearts, he could see that one t-shirt was like $1,600, $900 at best. You may have seen something for a couple hundred, like $300, $400. And that was like a basic tee. You get what I'm saying? Not something the kids would want to be like, okay, I got on chrome hearts. So once he saw that, he understood, okay, all of these Negroes wearing reps. Yeah, I tried to tell you that. So no, we can get brands like, what's the brand outside of Chrome Hearts? Not Chrome Hearts. Valley. He's been into Valley a lot. Chrome Hearts, that aloe stuff. Yeah, we can afford that. Valley is not too bad. I think my husband, I hope he don't listen to this episode, but I think he knows. My son wanted an essential hoodie really bad. So I was like, okay, I'll get you. He already had one, a gray one, but he wanted a black one. So I was like, all right, I don't really want to buy it because those essential hoodies are expensive. They like $200. So I said, all right, I'm going to get you this, but understand. And it was around Christmas, so I didn't have to do like a whole bunch of shopping. So this was just this one item along with something else. But we were going through GOAT, the app, and GOAT kind of authenticates whatever you're buying to make sure that it's real. They don't give you no fake stuff. So every essential hoodie that I was trying to buy from their site, it kept coming back that they found that it wasn't authentic. So we could never get the hoodie. So every time, I did it about 3 times, and each time they kept saying, we're going to refund your money because the shirt wasn't authentic. The sweatshirt wasn't authentic. So I was like, forget it. Well, let's just get something else. And so he found this Valley hoodie that he wanted, or hood jacket. It's a jacket. And it was like $220, I think. So he has a real Valley. But then now I think he bought that Valley hoodie or jacket last year. So now this year, everybody's coming to school with this Valley stuff on, and he had already started to wear Valley. And that wasn't the only thing he bought once he realized, like, okay, nobody's really up on this. But now Valley is the thing this year. But that ain't real Valley, because I am telling you, every Valley is at least $160 for a shirt, and I just know as a parent, I'm not saying you won't buy one item, because I bought the one item, but to sit there and say like my whole wardrobe is Valley, no. So my son smart shops. You throw a couple of reps in there here and there. I think we bought a pair of Louis Vuitton reps because that was for prom. I just didn't see the need of spending over $1,000 for a pair of shoes that he was just going to wear once. But those kids wear those designer sneakers with the suits. And so we bought those, a very good pair of reps, by the way, but we purchased them so that it would go with a suit. I told my son this was, in a sense, costume jewelry. You know how girls wear their costume jewelry when they're going to galas and things like that? We know it's not real, but it's for the occasion. So we want to have these diamonds and these emeralds or rubies or whatever. And so that's what the shoes were for me. Same thing with the accessories that I bought him. They were dupes, like reps or fake, costume jewelry. And it was rose gold. It was really pretty, just something heavy, though, a good one. I said, boy, I didn't buy you this for you to wear like in the streets. This was just for prom. You know what I'm saying? So it's not for that occasion. And I don't know what people think, but I just know it's corny for you to wear it when you already know what time it is now. And he has a real gold chain. That's the crazy part. No, it's not super ultra big because when I purchased for him, I think it was for his 13th birthday, maybe 14, something like that. He was young and he just wanted a gold chain so bad. And it's not that big, but like I tell him, at least it's real and gold holds its value. Melt the thing down, get your little ring, melt it. I don't care what you do with it, but it has value. So you have something real. It don't, when you see them dudes with them big behind chains in high school, that's not real. It's not. And I've purchased him real diamond earrings. I've done that crazy foolishness because, again, jewelry is one of those things that holds its value. I remember my grandmother said that to me when I would go visit, or she visited, when she wanted to give you something, she always gave you something that had value. Her thing was, I want to give you something that lasts. So it was always jewelry. It was something that would hold its value, something that you could keep forever, even though I lost the things that she gave me. But anyway, it would hold its value. So I was okay with buying a real chain, a real pair of earrings, but the earrings he always lost. He lost the earrings. And to be fair, I bought them when he was much younger. I even tried the screwbacks and it just doesn't work. When he would take them out to clean them, somehow they would disappear. It was just a lot. And so, no, we got it's a word for it. Mazza something. I don't know. It starts with the M, but pretty much like it will pass the diamond tester. It's like a mere mimic of the diamond. So I get him that now and it looks good and he can get all kind of shapes, because when you want to buy yourself a real pair of earrings, go ahead. But I am not doing the losing the thing. And I've learned that I'm not going to have any more children to put this to the test. I'm putting it to the test with my granddaughter, but you're not getting anything until you're old enough to protect it and to take care of it. All of this wanting these young kids to get all of these things, I ain't got throwaway money. So, but back to us grown people, okay? Frankly, the fact of the matter is, give a shit how you look. Carry yourself accordingly, no matter where you go. All of this whole, I get it. It's a huge debate. The college has stopped and told them people, I think it was Howard, you can't wear your do-rag and your bonnet to the class. And everybody was in an uproar. It was a huge debate about culture and blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying you can't wear your do-rag and bonnet. I don't like it. I will go. Now, do-rag ain't that bad. I'm going to be honest with you. Depending on how the boys wear their do-rags, especially if they roll that long piece up in the back and it's just kind of sitting on their head, it doesn't really look too bad. But the bonnets make the individual, male or female, look dirty. That's my opinion. And when I say dirty, it means it looks like you didn't wash. It looks like you rolled out of bed and you threw something on to come handle this business. And 9 times out of 10, the bonnet is on to protect your hairstyle. That's why we wear it. So normally the hair is done. Because when your hair is not done, you usually don't have on a bonnet. You throw on a hat to cover that. You put your hoodie on. You get what I'm saying? The bonnet is usually, I wasn't going nowhere. I didn't want to mess up your hair for what? You are going somewhere. So I tie my hair down at night. I don't necessarily wear a bonnet because I have short hair. So I wear a scarf and I tie it in the front. Now I be in the car with my scarf 24/7. You gonna catch me maybe riding with that scarf on, but I tie a little bow in the front and it actually looks like I'm wrapping my hair, kind of like women wrap their hair for style. That's what my scarf looks like. I wear a black one. I wear a really colorful one. But if I am stepping out of the car and I got to go inside a place, I take it off. And although my hair may not be curled, it's cut. So it's already in a style per se. And I just kind of comb it down because I do know it looks better than me keeping the scarf on. My son wears the bonnet because he has locks. My husband and I try to tell him all the time, don't you wear that bonnet out in the street. He does the same thing I do because why? Kids do what they see, not what you say. So he will wear his bonnet in the car. And I have to remind him when he gets out of the car, hey, take that bonnet off. And that's something that we constantly have to remind him of, is to take his bonnet off when he goes a place. So people are looking, people are judging. You don't know if you're going to lose a thing. You don't know if that is the reason why you're being treated the way you're being treated in relationships, because people have already had a preconceived notion of you. It's the oldest thing in time. People make a judgment by you in the first couple of minutes of meeting you and knowing you. That could be by how you look. It could be by how you speak. It could be about who your family is, because I know people do that too. Oh, that's so-and-so, them cousins, and you know how them people are. People are going to make judgment. And I'm not saying that you got to care about that, because people's response to that is usually, I don't care what people think about me. You should care what people think about you. You should, especially if you have goals and ambition and you have things that you want to accomplish, because we can't do most of the things that we want to do in life without the help, assistance, or guidance of someone else. You need someone to give you that job opportunity. Even if you're building your own business, you need people to come to this. You need people to support. And if people feel like you're not worthy of that support, then you're going to lose them. And how you present and how you look to people matters. It's just the truth. It may be the harsh truth. It may not be fair, but it is the truth. So it is what it is. And until next week, guys, I'll holla at y'all. Bye.